Okay. So when I browse through Facebook Reels, every once in a while martial arts stuff pops up, and I try not to let it bother me too much, but this one just really got to me. I'm a self defense instructor, and there's this technique is just ridiculous. So obviously, this is a very high level jujitsu man here, and I'm really not trying to give him any disrespect, but what he's teaching here is just it's ridiculous. So the technique is someone walking up and grabbing a woman's ponytail or even a guy's ponytail from behind. Okay, now so he has her put her hands up, turn around, boom. Now right off the bat, I, I can't understand the logic here. Her hands are not even guarding her face, so she's turning directly in front of this guy. So his hand is here. All he has to do is step in and punch her in the face, or grab her in the throat, or slap her, or whatever. Not to mention his two legs are free, so he could kick her or whatever. Now, what I would teach and have taught is for her to have reached back, and as she turns, to step around him, back and around. It's kind of a wide semicircle step. There's a couple different techniques that I teach with that same movement, and it's really easy and really effective. And the reason why you would do that is because, best case scenario, it would pull this guy off balance as she steps back and around him and, reaches back and grabs hold of his arm or his wrist so she has contact with him. But at the very least, it would force him to turn and face her as she moves, which would give her a split second. And then my step 2 of this technique would be to front snap kick him right in his balls and then run. And if he kept hold of her hair, keep kicking him in the balls until he let go and then run. And if he came forward and tried to start hitting her, then block. And then if he tried to use this hand to grab her or let go of her hair for a split second to grab her in another way, well, then, you transition into something else. But the whole thing is disable him with a kick to the balls, make him let go, and run. Okay? But this is the technique. Keep going here. So she grabs his hand. Now sinks down. Now boom. So pulling him down like this, first of all, see this guy, he sinks down. He's got his feet angled, not super wide apart, but wide enough because he's been trained. So, he's keeping his weight distributed. On the street, if it's just some person, you're probably going to pull him down right on top of you. And then, maybe you could pull guard and try to sweep out of it or, go to the eyes or do something else. But still, a grown man on top of a woman on the ground, probably not the best thing. And not to mention, her hands are both tied up on his wrist. And look at that. All he has to do is extend, shift forward just a little bit, punch her in the face. Also, if you've ever done any grappling, all he has to do is take his left leg and step around her. Once again, that semicircle movement, just kind of step around her, and then she's going to follow him, which is going to force her basically to kind of roll over either onto her side or maybe even if he yanks onto her stomach. And then she's in a real shitty position. And then if he drops down, he's got side control. Oh, just so bad. But all right, finish this out. So now, okay. This position is good. Feet on the hips, if you are in this position where that person's standing and got a hold of you. Feet on the hips is good. He's going to have her pull her leg back, cock up, and kick him in the face. Okay, now that's a good technique from this position. But where this would actually come into play more is if you were struggling and she ended up falling to the ground or just he was off balance and so she pulled him down and pulled him into a kick. Could work. It's still risky, but it's kind of one of those things you do on the fly. You're trying to set this situation up is very dangerous. Also, where this could work is if they were on the ground and for whatever reason the other person tried to stand up. then yeah, go ahead and grab their wrist or their arm or their sleeve of their coat or jacket, shirt, whatever, and kick them in the face. Now you're probably saying, well, why would they try to stand up if they had you on the ground? Well, I don't know, but it could happen. Maybe you fall to the ground in the scuffle and they panic because they don't want to be on the ground and they stand up, or they're on the ground with you, you stick your thumb in their eye, whatever, and they just decide they want to get away. But that could work. So that part of the technique I'm not discounting at all, but turning into him is just not good. All right. So, honestly, just to editorialize now, since I've gone through all this is part of the reason why I stopped teaching, or at least stopped pursuing it as like my main thing in life, because honestly, real martial arts and real self-defense is very basic, very straightforward. And trust me, my style that I taught was jiu-jitsu based. That's where I started out, was a Japanese style of jiu-jitsu, and transitioned more into the Brazilian style, like what this gentleman is teaching, as I went on. But I also really enjoyed boxing, Muay Thai techniques for knees and elbows, tried to incorporate everything I can that was useful, just followed that Bruce Lee's advice, right? Anything that works, things that don't work, just get rid of it. And you got to keep it simple. But I don't know, there's something about people. They just, if something is too simple, they just, I don't know, they just think it doesn't work or something, or there's just no mystery behind it. Anyway, that's all for today.